Everyone, welcome to the channel AI with Fizzy, where I cover everything in terms of AI, ethics, and machine learning. But today's video, I'm going to walk you through a topic that's been rumbling the AI industry for a while, which is OpenAI's ChatGPT 5, which is launching this month. We've had so much generative AI produce over the past couple of years, from Grok AI to Microsoft Copilot to Google's Gemini. And today I'm going to walk you through the history of OpenAI's ChatGPT generative platform, going all the way back from ChatGPT 3 to 4, and now we're at 5. There's been some bumps on the road where ChatGPT has misled, misinformation, given incorrect records. Does that trend continue? Has OpenAI actually fixed it in ChatGPT 5? Well, the answers will shock you, but let's get into it. So let's start from the beginning. ChatGPT 3 launched in 2020. It had 175 billion parameters. It was so revolutionary and capable of writing essays, poems, answering questions, and even simulating code. But ChatGPT 3 had major limitations. It was very inconsistent with its logic. It had hallucinated facts, and it was often overconfident when it was wrong. We've all been there, where we type a question into ChatGPT, hoping to get the question right. We've all been there with ChatGPT 3. I remember when it launched and I asked it a few questions, such as asking generic questions, such as, hey, can you write me an essay to do with AI in sports? And it incorrectly gave me information and data that wasn't relevant to the question in hand. But let's move on to ChatGPT 4. It's meant to improve. It was meant to be the new highlight. It was meant to handle the deficiencies that we saw in ChatGPT 3. It was meant to give a more logical approach and even become more of a personal assistant. ChatGPT 4 was released in 2023 by OpenAI. It introduced multi-modal capabilities. It could handle images and text together. It actually improved significantly in reasoning, summarization, and multilingual capabilities. And it also scored over 90% in the uniform bar exam, overperforming most humans. Now that's astonishing. We're getting to a place where generative AI is almost on par with human capabilities and knowledge. This was actually a game changer in the industry. ChatGPT 4 revolutionized how we were able to interpret its data, and also revolutionized how we even align it with our current livelihoods. Most people use ChatGPT to write extensive essays, articles, to help with everyday tasks, to even handle some complex data issues. But even ChatGPT isn't perfect. We've seen hallucinations, biased outputs, and limitations in its memory. And don't forget, ChatGPT's platform is based on historical data. So when we pull in historical data into ChatGPT, it spits out its best knowledge game based on what the data is presented to it. So how can it be perfect? Well, we've gone to an area of now ChatGPT 4.5 and basically ChatGPT 5 entering the arena. ChatGPT 5 is expected to be even more context aware, more interactive, and deliver more human-like in reasoning. Sounds really great. Rumors suggest that ChatGPT 5 is going to be more agentic model, one that can autonomously complete goals, plan tasks, and act like a digital assistant with memory and long-term recall. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds absolutely great. It sounds like OpenAI have really looked into the issues and problems from ChatGPT 3 when it was released in 2020. to now we're in 2025 and we've got ChatGPT 5. It's come a long way. I was a heavy user of ChatGPT 3, ChatGPT 4. I subscribed to the platform of the paid plan. I've seen the changes and I've actually recommended changes as leveraging AI to kind of help me with my ongoing tasks, to support me with my thoughts and my feelings, as many people do. But ChatGPT 5 is going to take it one step closer, and they're promising an agentic model. Now, that's a big promise. The question is, can ChatGPT 5 deliver on that? And what this means is, can ChatGPT 5 no longer become that tool that people use for just generative responses, but more on a human and personable approach, now performing memory tasks, as well as planning tasks as well as being able to actually offer real world suggestions and real live data. So does it remove the historical nature of it and now actually includes a more present feel to its responses? These are things that I'm curious to understand. I'm curious to actually delve into when ChatGPT 5 officially releases. But like I said before, is it all roses and red? So you might be wondering, how are people using these models in real world? Well, ChatGPT 3 and 4 have been used to build chatbots. We've all been delving online. We've seen many chatbots when we speak to customer service, and it gives efficient and effective answers. It's been able to automate content. When you're looking to build on articles, blogs, newspapers, companies are leveraging ChatGPT 3 and 4 to help write more distinguished and professional articles to help improve their reading rate to the masses. It also acts as a mental health coach. Many of us have leveraged ChatGPT 3 and 4 for personal use, understanding our stress levels, giving us tips and tricks on what to eat, giving us a sleeping pattern, helping us organize our day. And also, it can also simulate role playing in games. Now, I've never tried this one, but I'm curious to see who has, so comment below if you have. ChatGPT 4 is currently embedded in tools like Microsoft Copilot, Kenmingo, which is Khan Academy, Duolingo Max, Canva, Magic Design. ChatGPT 5 is expected to power real-time assistants, combine audio, video, text, and even control robotic systems. But before we get too excited, is this really a good thing? Is this an ethical approach? Now, ChatGPT 3 and 4, since it's been released, has seemed like a real breath of fresh air for many of us. For some of us, it's been more of a, I'm not sure about this. It knows way too much information. I'm not sure that I can incorporate it in my business or in my personal life. The truth is, companies, especially the large companies such as Meta, Google, OpenAI, are not stopping in AI. They're trying to build the next agent AI, which will basically be a real life performing in real time AI that people can incorporate and use. So far, AI is not there yet, but it's getting very, very close. The question begs, is ChatGPT 5 going to be the next big thing? Is it really going to challenge our intellect? And not only that, but is it going to be the best performing generative AI we currently have? So ChatGPT is incredible, no doubt. But just like any tool, it can be dangerous without the right strategy. If you're building with GPT, learn the strengths and blind the spots. And if you're just exploring, stay curious, but stay cautious. Right, so we've seen the case where ChatGPT has been used and leveraged, and more so how it's been beneficial to society. Now, it always begs the question to how far can we push the algorithm? And also, what level of data are we pushing to the algorithm to get a response? I mean, there's been cases and issues where people have leveraged ChatGPT for unethical reasons. You know, we could talk about, there's a case that went up around money laundering. There was a case that went out around trying to hack into companies. These are things that ChatGPT can support you with, but then does it bold the purpose of making us better human beings? Well, in this next section, I'm going to walk you through what they're not telling us about ChatGPT and the things to look out for with ChatGPT 5 coming up. Let's go. So let's talk about what they're not telling you. ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4 have made serious mistakes. Incorrect medical advice, false legal claims, fabricated academic references, offensive or biased responses. A major concern is AI hallucination, when the model invents facts with confidence. Think of it this way. The most recent case that I could think of is Grok AI, which is Elon Musk's platform for generative artificial intelligence. Now, it claimed that NBA 5-time champion Klay Thompson, who was formerly of the Golden State Warriors, was smashing windows with bricks. Just because his last performance was poor, it turned out that basketball, the terminology for brick, is missing shots. But ChatGPT turned it into a criminal act, which not only had Twitter in blaze regarding, is Klay Thompson actually out here bricking people's windows, but it can also harm the person's personal brand. And in the case of Klay Thompson, Elon Musk had to come out and explain the differences or the issues that currently Grok faces. Now, Grok is going to go through another update, which should formally decrease or eliminate things like this. However, some may say the damage could have been done, especially for an athlete of Klay Thompson's size, and also his ability to raise a personal brand, but also to be a role model to young adults. Now, some may say this could be a funny joke. And to be fair, Grok AI, according to Elon Musk, has been programmed to be more human-centric. So hence why we may see the humor in this. Grok AI, in my opinion, compared to ChatGPT or Google Gemini, it does perform the best human-centric in terms of human behavior, making jokes. However, it falsely claimed and gave misinformation on Klay Thompson, which is just not funny and potentially could be very dangerous. AI misinformation can affect careers, reputations, and even contracts. As GPT models become more human-like, the ethical risk become more human impacting. Ask yourself this question. Would you trust a model like this in your career? Or with your health? Or with your kids? It begs the question, when we talk about being ethical here, it's more than just thinking about ourselves, but we need to think about society. And there's no question or no doubt that AI has got some things wrong. Well, at this point, earlier AI. But even the new versions or the new algorithms are still making the same mistakes, if not worse, than what the previous AI models were doing. So it also continues on to say, are we effectively, or should we effectively be using these AI tools? Because it can steer information the wrong way, give hallucination advice, and in worst case scenario, it could play with our health. Well, let's go a bit more. So let's do a quick summary between ChatGPT 3, ChatGPT 4, and what to expect in ChatGPT 5. Well, ChatGPT 3 was really good at delivering text only, good for general writing, but it also lacked deep reasoning. So it couldn't fulfill much more demanding questions or deep questions regarding, for example, personal inferences, or it couldn't perform tasks that can help leverage your time at work, for example. It wasn't too proficient in delivering data tasks or personal tasks. However, it was really, really great at offering text-only advice, and it was very basic. On the other hand, we had ChatGPT 4, which was an updated version of ChatGPT 3. Now, this had a new game in play, which was called multimodal, text and images. We've all tried it before when we type in on ChatGPT, hey, create me this image. I know a lot of marketers who leverage ChatGPT to create an ad online. Social media influencers may use it to create or leverage their next caption. It became much more smarter, a lot more smarter than ChatGPT 3. It was also more accurate and more fluent. Again, the data became a lot more larger, so that means it was able to answer a lot more questions more effectively and efficiently than ChatGPT 3. It was able to answer a lot more questions than ChatGPT 3 could. That was a really good positive. If you pair between ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4, the same questions, you get a different answer. And 9 times out of 10, the answer you get from ChatGPT 4 is more accurate and more aligned with the question put in hand as opposed to ChatGPT 3. And it was also better contextual awareness. So where we had misinformation, it also had better contextual awareness. Now think of it in a way where, as human beings, we can get things wrong. We can misspell. We can probably shape a question much more difficultly than we should have had. The great thing about ChatGPT 4 is it contextualized everything and made it a lot more simple. Even if you made an error in your ask to ChatGPT 3, it still recognized the error and still was able to perform at a high rate, delivering the right appropriate answer. So ChatGPT 4 was like a breath of fresh air to all the wrong things that ChatGPT 3 was doing. However, now we're expecting ChatGPT 5. What can we expect? Well, according to OpenAI, we are expecting longer memory and task execution. So that means ChatGPT 5 is able to not only last more in terms of its input, but it can also share and hold output effectively. And what I mean by this is it can handle a lot more tasks on a daily basis than what ChatGPT 4 could. We all had that error message or that message down below where it says you have exhausted the memory for today. You have to wait a couple of hours before you go into. We've all had that message before where ChatGPT 4 will say you have exhausted the memory. You either have to create a new chat or wait a few hours for it to reset. This is now meant to diminish that in ChatGPT 5. It can also do task execution. So where ChatGPT 4 didn't perform well was doing real-time tasks. It needed back-end data or a lot more informative data in order to produce an output. Well, ChatGPT 5, it can create a task or actually execute a task in real time. It can also do audio and visual integration. Now this is massive. Where we've actually seen a few AI models depict this. Think of it as the whole conundrum of an AI Drake or an AI Beyonce. ChatGPT 5 is looking to do one above that and do integrations with audio and visuals. It can also do autonomous agent-like behavior. So think of it as your actual real personal assistant. Someone who's there, who knows you well in, well out, who's able to even predict things before you can even think them. Now that is very powerful and shows the way the world is moving towards AI. And also, possibly stronger ethical guardrails. Now, GPT-5 is, according to OpenAI, to be the most ethical generative AI there is on the market. But remember, more power equals more responsibility. We need ethical frameworks, regulations, and transparency, especially if ChatGPT-5 can interact with the real world. So what should we watch out for? Well, as we step into the world of ChatGPT-5 and beyond, these are my advice to you. Look out for misinformation spread. Watch out for fake news articles and deep fake style content. Don't be misled through an ad or misled through a campaign. Over-reliance on AI without fact-checking. Now, there's been a study that the more human beings use AI, we are now becoming less intellect. I always recommend, when you're using AI, always fact-check it and ensure that it's giving you the right information in real time. Also, mental health risks from inaccurate AI device. Very huge concern in the healthcare industry, where AI can give us a health tip or give us health advice, but it may be inaccurate. AI is not 100% accurate when it comes to healthcare. And then job displacements from automated agents. So we already know that AI has already begun taking a strong hold in the customer service industry. And it's also taken a strong hold in the mobile application industry. We have AI models that can build apps in real time. We have AI models that can act as chatbots or AI agents over the phone. But for businesses, be careful what data you expose to these models, because they may not forget. Right, so ChatGPT in general is great. I think anything generative AI, I think, has huge beneficial to humans, us as a society. I think ChatGPT-5 is going to be incredible. I think it's a game changer and it's very close to us getting to agentic AI. But there are still issues and problems from previous models that haven't been fixed. And again, this is a video that I wanted to share with you to discuss the difference between ChatGPT 3, 4, and 5, where it started and where we are today. And where we are today, we still have the same ethical questions that were posed when ChatGPT 3 was released. So be careful when you use ChatGPT 5, stay alert, and always fact check. Give yourself the best possibility in using ChatGPT 5. Give yourself the best opportunity when using ChatGPT 5 to make it your personal assistant, but use it in a way where it's more effective to you and you're driving the AI. Don't let the AI drive you. This has been AI with Fizzy. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing a lot more like this. And yeah, when I was digging through this, I was quite astonished in terms of how fast we've grown in AI, and more so generative AI. But I'm also looking forward to the future in terms of what AI can bring to us. I don't think we're there yet to be absolutely scared and nervous, but we should start raising questions to these companies that are building AI models that we're using day to day. But yeah, cool. This has been AI with Fizzy, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.